Oh, fuck me, that was epic. Come on, that was very cool. Postscriptum is so far looking to be an amazing World War II simulation. 16 km square maps, designated logistics, armoured command and infantry sections, epic sound design, mechanics which instantly separate serious players who want strong pace and peak action gameplay from those looking for a fast Monster Energy drink adrenaline fix. The last major YouTube and streamer event pretty much highlighted as much. Producers who enjoyed that faster, more action-packed gameplay would drop away through the evening, and those who wanted the more immersion-based action stuck around right through to the very end and the debrief section on Discord. Now, this isn't a criticism at all about any of those producers, but what it does show is that the game successfully has created mechanics that you can't play your way around. This is what games like Battlefield have been lacking for years now, a game which by its very design makes you play a certain way. If a game enables you to do a certain thing through its mechanics, then people are going to exploit and they're going to utilize that thing regardless of how it's perceived by others or if it were even constructive to the overall scheme of the gameplay. In short, if you're able to do it in a game, people are going to do it. That's just always the way it is, no matter the good intentions of the developer. If you actually want people to play a certain way, the only way that you can do that is to mechanically ensure that that happens. You have to make your game so that that's how people have to play that game, and otherwise people are just going to do whatever they want, run around like a load of headless chickens. This is why Battlefield has been a mess for so long, because the devs refuse flat out to make even any compromises on the come one, come all meat grinder that the game has become. Little direction, basically zero teamwork. Postscriptum is the antithesis of this. It restricts your class selections. You need to be in an armoured section to use armour. The spawn system by its design means that you cannot just spawn over and over and over and over and over. You need to think about your long-term gameplay in terms of movement between areas. You need to value your life. You need to rely on others around you. Soloing gets you very little. This game, by its nature, is a team game. And this is why I think that something like Postscriptum is going to be very popular and very successful, because it actually gives you what we haven't had for a long time, and with a World War II game that is genuinely serious about teamwork reliance, people needing to support and work together. You need to communicate, you need to stay together, you need to actually use positioning and coordination between your infantry sections to achieve your objectives, and the communication system which is in the game enables this. It currently features the German and British forces, with the US Airborne coming in a free update later this year. The game will be censored for Nazi imagery in countries where this is legally required, but where it is not, the game is going to feature appropriate and authentic designations for units. One of the best features that they've implemented is the Canteen. Now, your character has stamina, and that's going to deteriorate as you run, but when you become fatigued, you can replenish stamina faster by drinking from your canteen. And this is an ingenious mechanic. It balances up the necessity of having to run distances with a stamina system, but it also doesn't handicap the player, so you can replenish yourself and move quickly where you need to. And then we come to the atmosphere of the game, which is just spot on. Planes flying over you, cracking weapon and ambient sounds. The skyboxes, amazing. The buildings and lighting throughout the fields is very authentic. The grass can trigger you at the moment with some AA issues. Hopefully that's going to get ironed out. Now, to speak also about bugs and issues. Now, so far we've been playing on dev builds, and no doubt there's the odd thing here and there, but for the most part it's solid enough to play on. No doubt tweaks will continue to get some things ironed out, but there's nothing immensely breaking for me to speak on beyond the usual weirdness that you get in any game in development. Nothing to be sure that warrants any real discussion or that the devs are not already aware of. Now, to speak about weapons, the weapon balancing holds up really well with the game, especially because the obvious limitations of, limited optics, bringing units into closer contact, really focusing people's attention in on that medium range iron-sighted engagements. Limiting squads with class selection means that you're not going to be facing a whole team of MG42s or snipers when approaching a town, and actually gives you a reasonable opportunity to secure and clear through there. Grenades, strongly limited. Ammo replenishment has to be brought in by logistics, or obviously when you respawn or from an FOB. Planes are not constantly playing tag in the sky because they're AI controlled. They're brought in by command. This means you're not going to be splitting your players between ground and air. Everybody's focused on what is happening on the ground and what's supposed to be going on with the objective. The damage model, punishingly high. By the time you start to take fire, it's probably too late, and if you're not in cover, you're dead. There's obviously no kill cam, no replay finding where that fire was coming from. You're going to require some good solid guesstimation just about where you heard the shots, working with your team to identify where it comes from. Often if it's a sniper, the best thing is literally just to avoid the area, because unless you have a good call on where it was coming from or you saw them, by the time you figure it out, the cost and time is just not going to be worth it. And this is what's good with snipers. Snipers are not just about getting the kills. It's about locking down an area, about suppressing people and denying those areas for them to move through. And so you as a team actually need to find alternate routes through to your objective. Now, unlike Squad, Postscriptum doesn't have squad leader placed respawn rally positions, so don't go nagging your squad leader to drop one. Your only respawns are going to be either FOBs, which are by the way only for attacking teams, and MSBs, mobile respawn points. These are vehicles and must be kept safe from the enemy, so that they're usually parked up about 1 kilometer or a half away from your objective. FOBs can only be destroyed with TNT. It's necessary for your MSPs to be that distance away from the enemy, so that they're not obviously going to get instantly destroyed. This does of course mean that you've got to hike it a little bit to get back into things. This further staggers the pace of engagement, which, while some might argue, slows the game down, where sometimes very little is going to be happening. I would argue it actually creates the necessary breathing space for the communication between squads, command, the organisation, the planning, the movement. These breaks also allow time for armour units and logistics to be brought in to where they need to be. Because you see, I think that while the atmosphere of games like Postscriptum and Squad are undoubtedly much stronger simulations than the arcade alternatives, it's really the pace and unfolding of battles where they give the player the most. And this is highly subjective. Some people don't enjoy sitting around with nothing to continually fire at. They've got to get that kill after kill after kill after kill. Some people want instant action non-stop. Well, if you want that, I can tell you straight away, this game's not for you. It's that simple. No amount of playing how you want because you paid your money is going to change that either, because the game mechanics do not enable it. The best thing about Postscriptum is that it plays how it is meant to be played, because that's how you have to play it, because that's how it's designed to be played. The game has been constructed in a way that deliberately creates periods of downtime and movement, because these lulls in the battle actually amplify the intensity of the action when it comes. And that action is incredibly intense. It's very, very heightened. And I think we all know what I'm talking about. When your hands get that physical shaky feeling because you're so intensely focused on winning those battles. Maybe it's a one-on-one. Maybe you last felt that when you were in some kind of maybe MMO RPG, or perhaps a really intense round of Siege, even something like Overwatch where you're facing off against a troublesome player that you just feel you've got to beat. I doubt though that it was in an arcadey AAA FPS, because those games are much more of a kick back, relax, switch off your mind at this point in time. Come in, rinse, repeat, boring. Postscriptum really recaptures that intense, shaky feeling, those heightened senses from those firefights where you're genuinely on the edge of your seat for it. The pace, the mechanics, the sound, the graphics, the whole package are what deliver that to you. Now you can probably tell from this that I enjoy the game. It's true, I do enjoy the game. It's unapologetic, it won't hold your hand, it is what it is, and the game is proud of that. What I'd like to know now is your thoughts about the game down below. Are you excited for this game? Is it what you're looking for in a sim FPS? Postscriptum is approaching fast, so soon enough you can check it out for yourself. As always, this is Luton. I'll see you next time.